right, yippity skippity, it is now page 5, the final page of the test that I'll be going over. These videos are going to take you somewhere in the vicinity of about an hour or more to watch and look over your tests, see what mistakes you made, write up any corrections, make up any corrections, find out, like, okay, I don't understand. Could you give more examples of this? Look these things over, send me an email, respond to me, and send me stuff on the Google Classroom and say, hey, I didn't get this. Could you show me more examples? You went too quickly through this. I mean, you could pause it, stop it, rewind it, whatever, but it's the same problem over and over and over. If you want more examples of something, I'll be giving them, but later. We're going to be going through this test today and getting some little things on solving equations and work on that today. Some of you need this help. Some of you don't really need too much of it. Everybody would be benefited from doing what we're going to do later. We're going to work on graphing and then systems of equations tomorrow. And then you're going to take some systems test tomorrow, or Thursday, I'm sorry. So we'll be done with most everything from first semester this week. Now, if there are things, like I said, all you have to do is shoot me an email and say, hey, do a couple more of these type of problems, would you please? I need more examples of this, okay? Can't hurt you, can only help you. And if there's some stuff that you're like, I never learned this, I need more examples. Like if you don't know slope-intercept form, if you don't know point-slope form, if you don't know these things, standard form, you've got to ask, okay? You've got to ask. If you don't know how to find a graph using just the intercepts, x and y intercepts, I'm going to go over that right now, but I will do more examples of this. Now, number 33, write an equation in slope-intercept form, then find the slope and the y-intercept of the line. It is not written in slope-intercept form. It is written in standard form with the x and the y on the same side and the constant on the other. You need to get this equation into this form right here. Y is equal to mx plus b. Y isolated in this problem is equal to the slope and the x value plus the y-intercept, b. That formula is the slope-intercept formula. Slope-intercept. That's the slope-intercept form. Not written in slope-intercept form. So when you've got 3x minus 2y is equal to negative 6, you've got to isolate the y. Okay? This is going to be the last thing that I'm going to work with. I need to get rid of the 3x. Subtract 3x, you gone. Subtract 3x. I can't subtract anything here. I'm left with negative 2y is equal to negative 3x minus 6. Now, I have to divide by negative 2. Everything gets divided by everything gets divided by the negative 2. Now, some people do it with one big line and a negative 2 at the bottom. I like to write it twice, just knowing that everything gets divided by negative. It's the same monster. It's just my way. It works for me. Some people may want to write it as negative 3x minus 6 divided by negative 2. That's the same thing. Every bit of this has got to know. You've got to distribute the division in here. This way I've already distributed the division. It doesn't matter. They're both the same. It doesn't matter. Okay, cancels out. You're left with just y. Oh, my y is isolated. Negative divided by negative is positive. I'm not going to divide 3 over 2. It's written in slope form. Rise over run. It's already done for me. Yay. Easy. Negative divided by negative is positive. 6 divided by 2 is, works out nice. Slope-intercept form. Y is equal to mx plus b. The y-intercept is 3. The y-intercept is 3. My slope is 3 over 2. Up 3, right 2. Up 3, right 2. 3 over 2. Simple dimple, okay? Now, number 34. Identify the intercepts, then graph, okay? If it didn't say then graph, you could have just gone right into this problem, worked it out, and been done and found the intercepts. But it says then graph. That's where they get you. You've got to graph it at the end. So let's take a peek at it. 3x minus 6y is equal to 12. I'm not going to change the way this one's written. Why am I not going to change the way this one is written? It's written in point slope, standard form, whatever you want to call it. Because watch, if I am going to find out that the intercepts, where it crosses the x-axis, where it crosses the y-axis. The easy part about this, when it's done, all I need to know is this. Here are 2 points. I know that one of my points is going to have a 0 for the x because it's not going to move left or right. It's going to be on my y-axis. That would be the y-intercept. Okay. And I know that one of them is going to have a 0 for the y. That means it's not going to move up or down. It's going to be on the x-axis. So I can find these 2 points, no problem. All I have to do is put a 0 in for the x. What's 3 times 0? 0. So I'm left with just 6y is equal to 12. Once I put the 0 in for the x, right here, I'm left with 6y is equal to 12. Divide by 12 or 6, and y is equal to 2. So if x is 0, y is 2. How do I know that? Because I made x 0. That turned that into nothing. Now plot that point. Right or left 0, up 2. It crosses the y-intercept right there. Now how do I find the x-intercept? I change the y into 0. If I make the y 0, 6 times 0 wipes out. I'm left with just 3x is equal to 12. Divide by 3, and x should equal 4. Okay, right 4, up or down nothing, because that's my point. Yay, there's my graph. Now that's what you would have to do on the graph part of it. The intercepts, you could write them one of 2 ways. The x-intercept, you could write it as 4, 0. That's what I did on my test. That's what I did, 4, 0, okay? Because that's the point at which it intersects it. Or you could just put it intercepts at 4. That's okay. 0, 2 would be the y-intercept, or you could just write 2 for the y-intercept. Because you're telling them it's crossing the y-axis at 2, it's crossing the x-axis at 4. If it's labeled like that, it works. Works for me. Okay. Now, let's move on. Let's move on to graphing this line. Oh, people, I just got done showing you the slope-intercept form. This is written in slope-intercept form. It tells me I cross the y-axis at 3, 1, 2, 3, and my slope is a negative 1/2. Folks, my slope is negative. That means I should know if I draw a graph and it goes up from left to right, I screwed up. The slope right here tells me it's negative. It's telling me it goes down from left to right. Down 1, right 2. 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 I could go on forever if my graph was big enough. Go in reverse, up 1, left 2. Up 1, left 2. Up 1, left 2. And connect the dots. If your graph went up from left to right for this one right here, if it went up like this or was down here, you cross the y-axis at -3, it's +3. Your slope is negative. You just need to know how to use the slope-intercept form. Now, same thing with number 36. It doesn't give number 36 to you in slope-intercept form. You've got to convert it into slope-intercept form. Okay? I'm going to put this one on the graph. All you do is divide everything by 2. 2 divided by 2 is y. 4 divided by 2 is 2x. -6 divided by 2 is 3. So it's y is equal to 2x minus 3. That's your formula. To graph that, I cross the y-axis at -3, and my slope is a +2. That means up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, or down 2, back 1. And here's my graph. Again, if you got a negative, if your slope went down on this one, or you crossed at +3 on the y-axis, you're flip-flopping stuff and you're forgetting how to solve and write things into slope-intercept form. All right. Brain dead one. X equals -3. Doesn't matter what y is. Doesn't matter what your vertical number is. X will always be -3. So this will be a vertical line at -3. If it just gives you x is equal to something, you know it's a vertical line. If it gave you y is equal to something, you know it's just a horizontal line. Okay, but this one is x is -3. That's a vertical line at -3. Some of you did a vertical line at +3. I don't know how, it's negative, but you did it at +3. Others made it a horizontal line. You just got flip-flopped with that one. You need to know x, vertical line, no, undefined slope, because it's a vertical line. Now, number 38. There are a multitude of different ways that you can find the ways to do the graph for this problem. You could use a t-bar graph and choose a bunch of points to put in for x and chug out the answers for y. You could make a t-bar graph where you choose a bunch of answers for y and chug out these problems. The two easiest methods in my eyes, number one, we've already talked about it, using slope-intercept, y equals mx plus b. That's probably my number one choice. Y equals mx plus b. Okay, let me write that down for you. Okay, for this problem right here. Now, does it ask me to graph this line anywhere in this? Given 3x minus 6y is equal to 12, explain two different ways to graph the line by hand without using technology. Okay, what that means is you're not using a graphing calculator. Okay, graphing calculators are plugging it into the internet. It'll graph it for you. Yippity skippity. We don't need to do that. The good news is it doesn't tell me to graph this. It does not say graph this line. It says explain two different ways to graph this line. Number one is slope intercept form. Y is equal to mx plus b. You need to know that formula. If you don't know this, if this is brand new to you, you have to let me know that this is new to you. Because we will do more problems like this, but this has got to be second nature. This has got to be something that you guys did learn last year, something that you should have studied. It should not be brand spanking new. Okay, slope intercept form, y is equal to mx plus b. Y is equal to the slope, x, plus the y-intercept. Okay, this one's not written in slope-intercept form. You just have to convert it into slope-intercept form. So 3x minus 6y is equal to 12. Subtract the 3x. Negative 6y is equal to negative 3x plus 12. Divide by negative 6. Divide by negative 6. Divide by negative 6. You cancel. The negatives wipe out. This turns into y is equal to 1/2 x minus 2, because a positive divided by negative. So, slope-intercept form. How do I graph it? This tells me it crosses the y-axis at -2. This tells me my graph is positive, and it goes up 1, right 2. Up 1, right 2. Up 1, right 2. Up 1, right 2. Okay? So, -2, up 1, right 2. Up 1, right 2. Up 1, right 2. Okay? Or down 1, back 2. No big deal. Now, the other way to solve this one is what we did up on an earlier problem. Find the x and the y intercepts. Okay? Go back to this problem. Make x 0, make y 0, and it'll tell you 2 points. If I make x 0, it cancels out. I divide by -6, that makes -2. That means I cross the y-axis at -2. Okay? Up or down, or right or left 0, back 2. Or right or left 0, down 2. Duh. Oh my goodness. And then this one, I make this 0, divide by 3, and it's 4. I go right 4, up or down 0. Okay? So -2 and 4 would be my 2 points. Positive slope, just like I did here, started at -2, up 1, right 2, up 1, right 2, right there. Yippity skippity, look at that. How beautiful did that work out? Okay, so 2 different ways that you could do it. Slope-intercept form, find the x and the y intercepts. You could plug and chug and do a t-bar graph, but you're going to find out t-bar graph, not a chance. Okay, that was page 5. Again, you need to look these work pages over. You need to look over my videos and see, okay, I really don't understand this still. I need more examples of that. I need to know where you're lacking, because this stuff, usually the test that I gave you, this 5-page test, you had to get a 70% on this test to even get into my algebra course over the summer. Okay? You had to get a 70% coming out of 7th grade to get into this course. Okay? So that was just to get into the class. You guys should be a little bit of a leg up. Some of you are algebra retakers. Some of you are the honors classes and you're retaking, and you should have gotten above a 50% on this. If you didn't, you're going to have to bust a move this summer to be able to make it into geometry. It is not a given that you'll be moved into geometry after the summer is over. It's not like the pandemic end of year quarantine where everybody just sort of got a pat on the back and yippity skippity, you did great because, oh, there's so much trauma. No, you got to pass this course. You've got to show and get the grades that you need to get on these subjects to make it into geometry next year. There's no free rides, okay? So if you have questions on any part of anything from this, you need to let me know. I'll talk to you soon. There'll be another video and worksheet posted probably by 9 o'clock. So look over the videos of this test, chapter or pages 1 through 5. Find things that you don't understand. Let me know if there are things that you need more examples of. All righty. Bye.